I woke to a knock on my front door in the middle of the night. I wasn't expecting anyone, and the first thing I did was grab the bat I had beside my bed before heading to the window. I looked out. Snow fell heavily over the street. Street lamps threw pale orange light across the houses, but I didn't see any cars other than those that were already covered. The knock came again. It echoed through the house, and I worried that it would wake the kids, but not even my dog stirred at the sound. I bent down to her and rubbed her head. She looked at me, eyes half closed, and when another knock came, she didn't react. "I think I'm gonna lose it, girl," I said and went into the hall. Both kids were still in bed, sound asleep, so it wasn't one of them banging around downstairs. I took the steps slowly, the wood cold on my bare feet. After looking around the living room and dining room, I peeked out the windows beside the door. There were no footprints in the path up to the door, but someone stood on the stoop, a dark figure that sent a shiver down my spine. I stood there as the person knocked again, this one a deep thump that I felt in my core. I scratched at the stubble on my cheek, trying to decide what to do.
"Sean?"
A voice called. That shiver turned to ice in my spine so that even trying to move my head was a chore.
"Come on, I know you're there."
I dropped the bat to the floor and dragged it with me to the door. I could feel my heart pumping the ice around my body, and I shivered almost uncontrollably by the time I reached it. With a deep breath, I opened the door and came face to face with someone I thought I would never see again. Her small mouth broke into a grin while her wide hazel eyes danced over my face. She had her dark brown hair pulled back and braided, just as she always did. She was bundled up in the same jacket that I had last seen her in, and she had her chin and neck covered by a purple scarf. "Took you long enough. You know it's cold out here, right? What are you doing here?" I asked, and the bat clattered to the floor. "You shouldn't be here. I told you." "Why? 'Cause you don't want me to be?" she said, and looked at the bat. "Expecting someone else?" "I wasn't expecting anyone. You really need to leave before one of the kids see you." "They're my kids too, Sean," she said, and the good humor in her face faded. She took a step back, and the snow fell across her, sticking to her hair. She looked up at the windows. "Does Anna sleep okay now?" "She has for a while now, Katie." I wanted to go out and hold her, but the cold and the fact that she was there when she shouldn't have been kept me rooted in place. "You can't keep doing this." "Why?" She turned her gaze back to me, and it hardened. "I have tickets for her, for all of us. I don't know why you won't let them come with me." "For the same reason I tell you every time you ask. They're too young." "So was I," she said, and her eyes dropped. "What happened to us, Sean? We used to be so happy." "You took a trip. That's all I know. I've been here. Was here since the beginning. You just had to talk to me, Katie." She dug into her pocket and pulled out a black slip of paper. "You can take the trip too. Me and you, babe. Just like it was supposed to be." The paper had the date and destination printed on it in white. I almost reached for it. The desire to be with her still strong even after all these years she'd been gone. I stayed my hand and shook my head. One of us had to stay. One of us had to raise our children. That job fell to me. "Can't I see them? Just for a little?" "You know what happened the last time they saw you. They're older now. I can't lie that away." Tears welled in her eyes, and she wiped at her nose with a gloved hand. She gave a small nod and stepped back a little further. They talk about me anymore?" Every day. Anna, well, she looks a lot like you. I bet Jackson is a spinning image of you. He had your nose and chin after all." I glanced at the ceiling and nodded. "He's turning out to be a good man, if not sometimes troublesome." She gave a small, sad smile. "Well, he wouldn't be ours if he's good all the time." I chuckled. "No, I guess not." "Katie, I'm serious. You can't keep doing this. I can't do this." She looked down at the black ticket and folded it in half. "I miss you. It's not a bad thing, is it?" "No," I said softly, and wanted to hug her, to warm her, but I knew no amount of love could touch her cold. It's not a bad thing, but coming back here and putting me through this isn't a good thing either. Her lips went thin and she wiped snow from her hair. This is going to be the last time anyway, at least for a while. I'm going on a much longer trip this time. Where to? She shrugged. Don't know. Got a new ticket, and it looks like it'll be a long time before I reach the next stop. Maybe you'll find something there to make you happy. She faced the sky and slowly spun around the snow, her eyes closed. I don't expect something happy at the end. From her pocket, she pulled an envelope and slipped a black ticket into it. She then walked up to me and held it out. I told you, consider it a just in case. If you decide you want to join me, then you at least have the ticket to find me. Katie. No pressure, but keep it with you and think about it, she said, and then got on the tips of her toes and kissed me. Her kiss burned with cold. Do you truly miss me? Every day. Good. If I do make it back, I will see the children, Sean. I'll offer them to come with me. She turned on her heel and went down the walk to the road. She turned left and snow fell from her tree branch, and she was gone in the mist of white. She was just gone again, and I felt my heart break a little more. I looked down at the envelope and could feel the brittle ticket inside, and for a moment, I considered following her. Instead, I put the envelope in the breast pocket of my robe, locked the door, and headed back to my room. I went to the desk in my room and opened the drawer. There laid 16 or more envelopes, and I added a new one to the top. I closed the drawer and went and sat in the chair beside the window, and just stared at the snow. She'd been gone 13 years, and the pain never really eased. She had appeared on the stoop of our home many times in those years, each time with a black ticket. Each time she tried to convince me to go with her, to travel with her in death. When she took her own life, it was a shock to the family, but nowhere near the shock to us when she showed back up 6 months later, wearing winter clothes in the summer. The kids didn't understand. I didn't understand. Just as tonight she wanted to take us on a trip with her. She had a black ticket for each of us. She wanted to bring the children, but I very much doubt those tickets would take us anywhere good. My dog came up and laid her head on my leg, brown eyes worried and searching. I reached down and scratched her ear as I looked out into the snow. If she does come back again, I'll do anything to keep her from the children, even if it means seeing where her black ticket will take me.